Now, a third area is, we know that there's value. We think our solution is easy to use, but can we actually build it? And that's the feasibility risk. And that's really where, our engineers and our architects are able to kind of come in around the vision and confirm that, can we access the data that we need? Can we process that in a reasonable, amount of time, that it doesn't take a long time to process or display information, that we can store and secure and scale all of that. Our feasibility risks about can we do this?
Yeah, and the interesting thing about feasibility risk, technical feasibility, is that very often that risk also lies outside of the product we're creating, because our products interface to a lot of other systems in the world. It could be a back-end financial system. It could be any number of systems where we have to integrate and rely on those systems to create the whole experience.
Yeah.
And I know one of the things that we try to do really early on to drive down that risk is some R&D or proof of concept or something like that, to say, does this system, API, whatever, does it do what we think it's going to do, what the documentation says it's going to do?
Yeah.
So risk is not just, hey, can we create the software? It's like, all the other systems that we're dependent on, are they also going to function?
Yeah. And, there are things that we can do to experiment early on and start to collect some evidence that, the answer is yes, we can build this, or yes, people do want this or desire it, or yes, we have evidence that this is going to be easy to use. There is a fourth area that a lot of times it's a little harder to pull out, and that's a question of viability. And when we talk about viability, it's, should we do this? From our client's perspective, are they in a place where, number one, they understand their business model, and that by building this product, it logically will align to what they need to do at a business level, like increase adoption or grow their revenues or lower their operating costs, or streamline their communications or supply chain, or are they ready as an organization to support the product? That is an interesting thing in terms of if we have lots of content that has to be edited, or social channels that have to be moderated. There's roles and responsibilities within their organization they're going to have to be able to manage once the product goes live. And so that viability risk is often kind of hidden, and we help illuminate that as early in the process as we can. Start that conversation and get going around, when this thing goes live, it's going to change your organization in some significant ways.
Yeah, I can think of a couple of examples of products we worked on where the value was there, the usability was there, but when it came to the business model, either because of pricing or just because of the structure, like who is writing the check?
Right.
There have been a couple of examples, and people ask us this all the time, like, do you ever start working on something and design a solution and then decide not to build it? And one of the reasons that sometimes that happens, we decide not to build it, or our client decides not to build it, is because of this business viability risk. We decide, okay, we can create a compelling product. There's people who want to use it, but we can't find how they're going to pay for it, or what they're willing to pay is not enough to justify the investment.
Right.
And it's so important to unpack that up front. You don't want to get into even a MVP build and realize that you don't actually, you have a user, but not a customer. And so thinking about the difference between users and customers early on, and figuring out, will somebody pay? How much will they pay? Can I transition from creating a product to having a successful software company? That's a super important question.